Okay, so we have David and we have the
Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Daniel.
Daniel's going to help us today.
And we have the 3 boxes that we
Yes.
bought out. Because, like we said, we bought out a comic lot from somebody. And these are it. And we're going to go through, I don't know if we're going to go through every single book.
Yeah, I mean, I can't pull everything out.
Yeah.
Because that would be obscene, because there's like 700 books in here.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's nothing huge.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, for minor stuff and for just reading and maybe putting lots together and things like that, it's not bad. It's just, it was really inexpensive.
Yeah.
You know, without getting into it, it was just like, oh, wow, really, that's it? Sure, I'll take them. But we can... Oh, that's just blanks.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well you can see down in there. It's just basically, and these didn't get bagged, but a bunch of Batmans. And, you know, you can tell these are going to be mostly early to mid copper.
Yeah.
Daniel, don't try to climb in there. Okay, yeah, you go down there. Daniel wants to help.
Yeah, it's a lot of modern books, mainly from the, 90s to 2000s?
Yeah, early 90s to early to mid 90s mostly, it looks like, off the top of my head. And there's a croc. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of like older books, but those are pretty ratty.
Yeah,
you know, those are
shape.
what they call rags.
They're called reader copies only.
Reader copies. I know you want these Batmans.
Yeah, the Batmans. I really like the cover.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I'll be into it, but I do want to read them and just see if I don't like it, then I'll give it back. But the covers are really nice, and many of you know from watching our videos, I do collect covers. So, you know, it might be a book and the story's not good, but if the cover's really nice, I'll keep it.
Yeah.
Because the cover is a part of the comic collecting. Yeah, the story is
It's two of the same.
a big part of it, but the cover is also a major part of the comics too. Yeah, and now this person, because I went through them and organized a lot of them, he has a lot of runs. I don't know if they're complete, but...
Probably not, but you know.
Yeah, but he got a lot of runs. So like you see, this Robin, and it's a lot in there, and then there's a bunch of X-Men's, a bunch of Spider-Mans, and a bunch of other things, and it's like several of them. So if you put together a lot, you can at least get, 5, 6 of the books. You can start reading them and getting an idea.
There's
That's
a
cool
good job on the covers on these anyways, even though Robin sucks.
Yeah, but the cover is nice. And you got the be honest about that. You're like, oh yeah, Robin, the book sucks, the story is horrible, but cover's really nice.
Rush. Independent publisher.
That's interesting.
Savage Dragon.
Now he got like a lot of that.
Yeah, there was a
It's
bunch
like
of
the whole
Savage
run.
Dragon in here. I doubt that, but
Yeah, but still, it's a lot.
They still make Savage Dragon,
If
don't
you
they?
say, man, I want to start, and I'm going to collect Savage Dragon, and you got a good little start here.
If anybody spots a key that I miss, you can go ahead and call it out in the comment section. Because this is right around the time that I stopped getting modern comics. I got kind of fed up with it. The mid-90s especially was really bad for comics.
What happened in the mid-90s that made it so bad?
Just overproduction. Overproduction. There was a lot of hype. That's when variant covers started getting to be a thing. And it just, it made it hard on people. And a lot of the, story started slipping. Marvel and DC lost a lot of talent because they weren't really paying. These are doubled up, a lot of them.
Yeah, a bunch of them are doubles.
And then nothing. Image and Valiant took away a lot of talent from Marvel and DC, and some of the stuff they put out was all right, some wasn't. But yeah, mostly it's overproduction. Really, like you talk about the death of Superman was a big event, but when Kitty, look out, will you? No. We're not going
Dusty.
that way. Yeah, that's Dusty. That's Daniel's sister there. Those are the two kittens that ran up to us out of the woods that somebody dumped out there. You know, we take care of strays if you're new to the channel.
That Shadow Man looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's good artwork anyway.
Yeah, that one.
But they're real interested in whatever I'm doing here.
They're always interested. If you're doing something and you're busy
Ugh.
and you don't want them in your way,
Those are dirty hands.
then it's like, oh, it's my opportunity.
Shaman's Tears. That's what cats do.
Get in the way.
But yeah, like Death of Superman, and they must have cranked out 2 million copies of that, and then they went into like what, 5 printings of
Bunch
that
of
issue.
spawns.
Yeah, there's a lot of spawns. Not the early issues, I don't think. Or like these first McFarlane Spider-Man, they cranked out 1 million of those, and Spawn too. A lot of these Image books, even the popular ones, they made so many.
I guess they felt like comic books were a thing, and when it first came out, they didn't have that many, and people started looking at the value of comic books, so they wanted to make sure everybody had one.
Yeah, and then there was that whole stigma of people thinking, just like you see in the toy industry today, oh, well, you know, because the old ones are worth so much, the new ones will be too. But, you know, those older comics, they faded away through attrition. Like even Action Comics #1, which is like the standard for the beginning of the Golden Age, because it's the first appearance of Superman. I think DC, their records indicate they produced like 200,000 copies of that. But find any of them. You know, they didn't make it. There's only a handful that have survived, because back then people read them and they threw them away. Or they got wrecked. But, you know, when you've got something like this, and they make like, I guarantee you almost all 200,000 copies of that still exist if they made that many.
Yeah.
And most of them are probably in pretty decent shape. So it's not an investment.
But you got to think about, like, now, because people know, okay, comic books can be worth something depending on the condition, because in the 30s and 40s,
look what I found down in there.
people didn't have bags and
That's
boards.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. People didn't have bags and boards, and people didn't probably didn't keep their comics in boxes, long boxes, and even like the hard plastic boxes. I've seen videos where people build cabinets to put their comic books in, and they get file cabinets.
Try to go through this a little bit faster. I mean, you can pause it if you're curious about anything.
Yeah, but people didn't know to keep the books, I think, and now people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep it 'cause just in case."
Yeah, and you know, bagging and boarding. I mean, that really wasn't even a thing until the '80s. Really, it wasn't a big. You know, nobody was really doing that until the 1980s. Although many of the gold and silver age, like you look at pedigree collections and stuff like that, I mean, they weren't in anything, and they were just like, they'd take 5, 10 of them and stick them in an envelope or a folder, and then put them in a filing cabinet stacked on top of each other like this. And many of those pedigree collections are some of the highest grades you could find from gold and atomic age.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Stormwatch, more Image books. Superboy. I remember this, the Hunter Prey 3. Oh, he's got all 3 of them too.
Mm-hmm.
Supergirl. That must be Grodd. that's that whole box.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's nothing like fantastic,
Yeah.
but interesting nonetheless. Mm-hmm. And for the price that you paid for it. I mean, even if I were to take these to a show and put on the box 50 cents a piece, something like that, I'd be making good. And then these are some older ones, but look how rough that is.
Yeah.
That's hurting. The Sensational Hornet, is it? Funeral for a Friend. Ash Can. It's got a lot of pinches on it. But yeah, there was just as you see, X-Force, Thunderbolts, a lot of loose ones there. Thunderbolts, can you see in there good?
Yeah, I can see the whole
okay.
book, basically.
All right. Just want to make sure. I'm not familiar with this one. Need more bags? Oh, she needs some diet pills. I need some bags and boards. That gets expensive though.
Yeah.
Even just supplies in this hobby, it adds up.
I mean, and in every hobby, even in toys, you got to do things to preserve your toys. You got to buy clamshells and shelving and stuff like that to,
of course,
to put your collection in, to preserve it, to keep it nice. And it's, you know, when you decide you're going to collect, it doesn't matter what you collect. You're going to have to not only buy the collection, but buy the things that you need to preserve it. If you got, you know, some precious moments or stuff like that, or teacup set, thimbles, you still got to put it somewhere and keep it nice and dusted and clean.
And for the most part, these are actually in the majority of these in pretty decent shape.
Yeah.
You know, like you just pull out randomly. There's not really seeing any spine ticks and the sharp corners on it and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they're in decent shape. It's just, you know, there's nothing major.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure if it was something major, this guy took it out.
Maybe, yeah, if he knew what it was. You never know. I need that guy who doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I never find that guy.
No,
you see them.
You hear about them.
Yeah.
But you don't.
People brag about them on like YouTube, and it's like, oh, I found this comic box, and it's got like it's all Silver Age keys, and the box is worth like $50,000, and they paid like $20 for it at a garage sale, and I'm like, yeah sure.
Or they buy a storage locker, and the storage locker is full.
Yeah, sure.
Of comic books, toys, lunch boxes, coins, everything.
Yeah. I don't get that luck.
Mm-mm. Some people got to work all their life for everything, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I think when you work hard for everything you have, you appreciate it more. But sometimes it do feel good just to get a break.
Every once in a while, yeah. I think everybody needs a break on occasion.
Yeah.
Untold Tales of Spider-Man. You know, it's a tough one to come by anymore. Right. And people don't even realize how hard they are to find because a lot of people don't look for it, is the Electric Company Spidey comics. Mm-hmm. You just don't see those. The Electric Company version of Spider-Man comic issues in any condition are pretty tough to come by, actually. You don't see them very often. Just throwing that out there. Something to keep, because you know we do those, uh-oh, she's got some Band-Aids.
Yeah, you gotta cover that up.
Because you know I do the thing where I talk about, who people don't remember, Topps used to make comic books. It was based on the movie Bram Stoker Dracula. But
it's like 3 Hulks in that one package there.
Yeah. You know, I do the key recommendations on here. And RoboCop versus Terminator, Shadowhawk 2. And I would recommend that, you know, keep an eye out for if you run across any of those Electric Company Spidey comics. They're pretty hard to come by, and they're pretty popular. People want those. Not only because it's an obscure Spider-Man title, but also because of that connection to the Electric Company. If you were big on the 70s, if you grew up in that era. A lot of Alpha Flight in here too, I think.
Yeah.
Which is a Canadian superhero team. There's Wendigo.
You see that a lot when you go to shows and stuff. I always see, or when you're just looking around at thrift stores and flea markets, you see Alpha Flight a lot.
Yeah. They tie in with X-Men occasionally. See those reader copies. This poor Captain America here. Just falling apart inside the package.
Yeah, but still, low grade is better than no grade.
Yeah.
That's the thing when in comics.
Yeah.
You know, you be like, oh no, I can't have that. I can't send it to CGC. So
Purgatory.
what? You own it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same like we say with toys. Oh, I don't have a place to put it. It doesn't matter. Buy it. Put it under the bed, put it in the closet, put it in the laundry room between the dryer and the washing machine. You know, put it somewhere. You own it, period. You know, you might have a book that's
Hello, Dusty.
your holy grail
Trying
book.
to help?
But you know, yours got some ticks and some color breaking marks on there. You buy it for $10. You own it.
Yeah.
The book worth $2,000. You found it for $20.
Some people just like to have runs, you know. They don't have to be perfect if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's how I am. And you know,
Yeah.
I want the whole run. So if I find that book $2, or if I find a book and it's old and it's $2, I'm fine. Just cause. Oh, see, somebody want that.
Yeah.
Look at that Iron Man and that old super
Marvel Tales.
thing there.
The Spider Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Spider Tales reprints. Marvel Tales. Oh, reprints classic issues.
Yeah. There's always Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Spider-Man's popular.
I guess.
That's the
She-Hulk.
That's the She-Hulk everybody wanted. Basically, the savage She-Hulk.
Savage She-Hulk.
Savage She-Hulk, the tough She-Hulk. The
Titans. I like that cover right here. This is a nice cover.
yeah, these two.
Yeah, you can put it back.
Oh.
I just pulled it out so people can see good.
Thought you were trying to.
Look like Clint Eastwood.
Thought you were trying to pilfer. Well, Clint Eastwood is the standard kind of as far as westerns because he's done so many really excellent classic spaghetti westerns. You know, so it's really easy to want to model after him.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. More classic X-Men. Reprint old X-Men titles. Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. Bloodstrike. There's more of those Image titles. Cable. Dusty is just fascinated. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, a Skrull Captain America. More classic X-Men. Cyberforce. Daredevil.
That's a cool one with the Captain America.
Yeah, and Daredevil leaping out of the shield there. Yeah. That's a nice kind of throwback, almost 70s looking artwork on that one.
Yeah.
Kitty. The Darkness from Top Cow. Oh, it looks like an Image Top Cow collaboration. Kitty, really?
Big head in the way.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to look down in there to see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in the box in a minute.
Not familiar with this title. There's a lot going on.
Hold on, I got to turn to this side because it's starting to get kind of.
Sorcerer Supreme, Electra. Oh, that one's in a bag.
Oh, there's a lot in the bag.
Is it? Oh, there's one on the other side. Electra. January 97. Getting into the late 90s now. Excalibur. I remember Excalibur. British superhero team. Number 1, Because You Demanded It. I don't know about that.
I ain't demanding nothing.
I demand that they come out with an Excalibur comic. Get on that, Marvel. Sorry, mate, you'll have to look inside for all that. Okay, that's cute. The sorry, no interesting cover. See, there's a pretty good run of Excalibur here, too. Captain Britain. Dusty found something to keep herself occupied. X-Mutants. Gen 13. Freak Force. The Image liked to make a lot of teams. They made a bunch of team books back in the day. Mighty Man in Secret. Ugh. A lot of Freak Force. Image did a lot of dealer incentive covers back in the day too. That looks really impractical, having those darts laying against your legs like that. You stab yourself.
Well, she's a superhero.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, dealer incentive covers, because that was a big thing back in the day. I wonder how well a lot of those have held up as far as aftermarket. The Max. Oh, Friends of the Max. I remember the Max. Generation X. As we start to get towards the end here, so, yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of later 90s books in here. You can watch the progression. That's another thing too in the 90s, is the progression of how quickly the price started to escalate. You know, it took, in the past decades, or years anyways, for prices to go up, you know, from 10 cents to 12 to 15, 20 cents, 25. You know, it was a slow progression. And then all of a sudden in the 90s, you went through all these pricing increases in one decade. 75 cents to, did it start off at 75 cents, I think? In the, like, 75 cents to $1, 99 cents, $1, $1.25, 50, 75, $2, $2.25. It just kept going.
Kitty, you're blocking the books
There's
now.
a lot going on right there. Kitty. Can you see?
Yeah, I can
All
see.
right. She's like right here. What's that? Marvel Knights. Ooh. Uh-oh. And here comes Miss Kitty.
Hold on, let me close the door.
Yeah, Miss Kitty had just come up out of the basement. She wanted to close the door before anyone else went down there. She's the only one that's allowed down there.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, number 5. And 50. It's a big jump. High Roads, Hitman. It's a bunch of books I've never heard of. Howard the Duck by Max Comics. They brought this back. $4.75. Oh no, $2.99 US, $4.75 in Canada.
Wow. That's not a duck. That look like a rat.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they're doing. iBots, Lobo. That's some bad artwork. I never cared for this guy's style. That's more like it. Mantra. Malibu Comics. Marvel Universe. As we trail down towards the end here. And again, you know, nothing spectacular, but for what we paid, I'm not complaining.
So you're going to keep any of these?
I mean, we'll see. We got to get the stuff in alphabetical order and sort through it and just see what all I've got. I might keep some of it, and we'll see. I remember Nomad. Oh, versus the Punisher. Panther. Power Pack.
Pride and Joy.
Yeah, Vertigo title. And I think that's about gonna do it, guys.
Okay.
Some ash cans back here. Well, what do you think? You think I got anything there? What are your thoughts, guys? You think that's a nice little haul, or not into that sort of thing? I know, again, it's all 90s titles, and a lot of people aren't into that. Some people, comic collectors, have bad memories of the 90s because of all the changes that took place, but we're happy with it.